When someone close to you passes, the grief can feel overwhelming. So when it comes time to make the necessary preparations for your loved one, you can rely on Angel Cremation and Burial in Mesa. Our caring and professional staff knows you're going through a lot, so we focus on helping you understand your options. You only pay for what you truly need. To learn more about our many cremation and funeral services, call 480-962-6435. 480-962-6435. AngelsCremationandBurial.com. Networking Arizona is brought to you by Flash Forward Sites. The proof is in your numbers. Learn more at flashforwardsites.com.
If I traded it all.
So welcome back, everyone. We are live on Facebook, and one of the things that you can do if you want to put into Networking Arizona, right into the Facebook bar, and you can actually watch us in here doing the show live right now. It's really fun to do. We're going to keep our lines open here for everybody to keep on calling in for anything that we were giving away earlier. My next guest, and I'm so happy to have her on again. She looks great. She had a little bit of surgery, so she had some downtime there for a little bit. I have with me Sandy Greenlee, and she's the owner of Angels Cremation and Burial. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Carol. It's so nice to be back.
And you look fantastic, considering you just had some major surgery there, you know?
Well, I'm very, very blessed. I mean, people say, you didn't take any pain medication? And I said, nope, I didn't.
No, when you meet Sandy Greenlee, you're going to know why. She's a very strong woman. You have been in the business with what you do for a very long time.
22 years.
22 years. And you like coming on the show because you love to educate people. And people always say, well, it's kind of weird for you to be bringing on a cremation and burial. But it's all about planning, folks. It really is. So let's talk a little bit about, why don't you talk a little bit about your cemetery, a little bit about your where they come to you, what it's like, and what makes you different.
Well, we're not a cemetery. We're a mortuary.
Mortuary.
That's okay. What makes us different is we really try to educate families and let them know that there are options and choices. Most mortuaries want you to spend money, and they just tell you what is the most expensive things. They don't give you options other than unless it's a more expensive option. They don't tell you, did you know that you can use this casket instead of that casket? I had a family in yesterday, as a matter of fact, and they were looking at all these wooden caskets, and they're expensive. They're beautiful. They're nice. But they're just, you could just see it in their face. And I said, well, would you cover? I know you told me you wanted wood, but would you consider a cloth covered if it looked like wood? And they said, what? And so I showed them a casket that is made out of particle board, is covered with cloth that looks like oak. And this is a true story. I had a lady one time who had like 6 or 8 kids, I can't even remember. And her husband died, and he was a woodworker, and she wanted a wooden casket, and she couldn't afford it. So we got her this cloth-covered casket. And she said to me, as she was standing probably 20 feet away, maybe 30 feet away from the casket, as she was walking in the door, she said, who upgraded my casket? And I said, nobody upgraded your casket, my dear. That is the cloth-covered wooden casket. And she walked up, and her kids kept feeling it and saying, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. But it looks like honey oak.
It's awesome.
And it's like a third of the price. And my casket company said, oh, Sandy, we can't sell these. And I said, oh, yeah, I can sell them. And I sell a lot of them.
You know what I love about you? One of the things that you have said on the show a few times is that when somebody is, they're hurting, if somebody has all the money in the world and they want to go do it, you're fine with that. Whatever you want to do is fine. But you'll say to them, now really, are you going to want to pay that much money to look at that casket for what? 3 hours?
Yes.
And then what happens?
A lot of them change, especially those that are watching their dollars. And that's probably about 70% of our business is people who are watching their dollars. And I love them because they're humble, they're caring, they don't want $1 million. And honestly, I've been there. I know what that's like. I mean, my church buried my second son when he died because we had no money. We had no place to go because my husband had just almost died of valley fever, and we'd gone through all of our savings, and so we'd moved from Wyoming to Arizona not quite 2 years later. And so it was very challenging. So I know those struggles and I know those wants. And just because you don't have money, you still want the best for your loved one because you love them.
Right. But who today doesn't want to cut their pennies, watch what they're doing. It's different than it was years ago. There are people, there's always going to be those, but I think that's what you specialize. You also say something that I also love a lot, is that God picks his flowers when he wants to pick them.
That's right.
And the ones that he wants, right?
Yep, he doesn't care if they're healthy or sick, they're rich or they're poor, they're old or they're young. He picks the flowers he wants. And so none of us know when that's going to be. I mean, I've lost a newborn, I've lost a 9-year-old. I lost my husband of 50 years marriage. He was only 74. And so, you never know. And in my family, it's like we call it the bomb and curse. At 69, you're going to die. And so if you live past 69, you've got it made in the shade. And thank goodness I've already passed that 69, so I'm
coming
okay.
up to it. I'm a little nervous now. So you can go onto their website. You've got all sorts of great information for them to look at, because it is what she wants you to do is plan. You are the owner of this business. What is the hardest thing that you deal with when somebody walks in the door or they have nothing planned, they don't even know where to go?
The first hardest thing is when I see people that want something that they can't afford and I don't have an option. And it makes me, I get really sad. The second thing that makes me the saddest is when people say, I don't know what they want. I don't know. I don't want to offend them. I don't know if they want to be buried. I don't know if they want to be cremated. And I wish they would have talked about it. And I can tell you, I have that in my own family. My sweet mother did not want to talk about it. We cornered her in with her car. She couldn't go anywhere. And Mom, today's the day we're going to talk about this.
Well, it is so important to do that, to open up make that conversation an easy conversation. Another thing that you say is that people in America don't like having this conversation, and basically they don't.
They don't. People they think it's going to happen to somebody else tomorrow. And unfortunately, it happens to some of us today. God picks the flowers, so you just need to plan. Because if you talk about it, even if you don't want to go to the mortuary, talk about what you want. I mean, it can make life so much easier. I mean, my mom didn't want anybody to see her. She wanted to be cremated. And because we talked about it, I was allowed to see her. I would have anyway, because she died in my house, which we didn't plan for. She came on vacation and just decided to check out while she was here. And we got to have a service, which she didn't want to have. My daughter convinced her she did not need to be cremated. She needed to be buried. So there's all kinds of things. If you talk about it in advance, then people know. And knowing is so much peace.
And even when you know, like you've known and you've had this experience yourself where, well, like today, there's things that you can't do. Like you can't even call Amazon, right? Without getting, you have to be checked to make sure who you are. So when you go to do something, you said after your husband had passed away with the phone or something like that. Oh, what a nightmare it is today. It is not easy, not even to die.
That's right. When my husband died, I couldn't turn off his cell phone. Finally, I just looked at him and said, you know what? I really don't give a damn whether you shut it off or not. I'm not paying you one more dime. His account is closed and you're not taking any more money out.
I told you, she's a strong woman. The number to call there is 480-962-6435, which is 96 Angel. It's Angels Cremation and Burial.com. We're going to talk a little bit more about burials and the difference between a cremation and not. But for you, what is the number one piece of paper? You're the owner. Tell them what they really, honestly, the first piece of paper that they need to have.
If you want to be cremated, write it down and have it notarized. It'll just save your family a lot of stress, because if you have 5 kids and 4 of them are not to be found and you're not married, you're not going to be cremated for 15 days.
And that's not nice. That's not even a nice thought. I will tell you this, a lot of people out there that, like me, I'm a little bit older mom. My children are a little bit younger, but they're so dramatic today. After I listen to you, I've been writing stuff down. I'll tell you, because they're not as well. They might surprise me. But I will say that most of them are a wreck. And I think it's so much easier for everybody to have something planned to make sure that it makes it so much easier, not only on you, but on the family.
That's
You're
right.
gone, so, but it's so much easier on the family. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. The number to call them is 480-962-6435. It's 96 Angel. Go up on the website. There's tons of information there. And I know it's not a subject that everybody likes to talk about, but it's probably one of the most important conversations that anyone can have, making it easy. So again, it's 480-962-6435. It's Angels Cremation and Burial.com.
Watch out, because Granny's got guns. If you're looking for anything to do with guns or hunting, Granny's Got Guns is the place to go. They're a home-based FFL dealer in Desert Hills, Arizona, specializing in handguns, rifles, ammunition, and firearm parts and accessories. They're more than just guns. Granny's Got Guns also carries a huge selection of apparel and duty gear, plus knives, camping and hunting gear, and anything you need for archery, too. For more information, call 602-935-7881 or visit Granny'sGotGuns.com to place your order today.
Wow, everybody wants greater health, wealth, and happiness. We at Hypnotic One help everyone achieve that by eliminating your negative, unwanted, outdated habits and addictions in 1 to 7 days and include a lifetime warranty. Now's the time to take control or eliminate drugs, alcohol, smoking, weight gain, stress, and depression. We at Hypnotic One make changing fast, fun. Call now, 602-547-0446 for a free 1-hour consultation and motivational CD. It is priceless and life-changing.
Mom, my foot still hurts.
Children seem to be invincible. However, a child's foot pain should not be ignored. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Jarman with Pediatric Foot and Ankle. I specialize in the accurate diagnosis and treatment of conditions affecting children in their lower leg, foot, and ankle. If your child is suffering with pain in their foot, ankle, or leg that will just not go away, please call our office today to make an appointment. For more information, go to pediatricfootankle.com or give us a call at 480-534-7220.
Ready to live your best life? Looking to find a group of qualified naturopathic doctors who really get you? Restore Health at Verve offers many advanced modalities and treatment protocols to restore and optimize your health. Do you suffer from chronic pain? Need advice on healthy eating? Or with balancing your hormones? Get the relief you need by contacting Restore Health at Verve today. For more information, call 855-34-RELIEF. That's 855-347-3543. To schedule an appointment online, visit rhg.health. Do you have unwanted house guests of the insect kind? With over 30 years of experience, Ritterbird Pest Control has battled their share of insects and won. Let Ritterbird nip your pet invasions in the bud fast. With prompt response times, easy and flexible scheduling, and reasonable rates, our always courteous and dependable staff is here to serve you. Residential or commercial packages. Book your pest control service and receive 50% off your first visit. Call Ritterbird Control today at 623-587-0125. That's 623-587-0125.
What if I told you that getting Medicare coverage doesn't have to be a complicated process? Are you tired of being confused with the many coverage options available to you with Medicare? At Tapestry Insurance Group, let us help by taking the confusion and complication out of your Medicare options so you can get the coverage you need. Some available plans have no additional premium and may help lower your out-of-pocket costs. There's never a cost for a consultation with one of our licensed agents, so don't delay. Contact us at 602-541-7656 or visit tapestryinsurancegroup.com.
If I traded it
So welcome back. We've been talking to Facebook land out there about being prepared, and I asked you, one of the questions that I asked you was, are you feeling that there's a lot of more cremation today than ever before?
Oh, there is definitely, and a lot of it is because of finances. A lot of it is because we are in a transient society. We don't, it used to be that we lived where we were born, and we lived, and our generations have lived there. But people are moving a lot, so people are not going back to the cemetery. People are not, and different generation. I mean, my kids talk about going to the cemetery. My son says, "Why do you go to the cemetery, Mom?" And my daughter goes because we went with my mom and we went with my grandma, and that's just what we did because there's quite a span between my two children. But mostly it's expenses. I mean, people will come in and say, I'm cremating mom or dad or brother or sister because that's what I can afford.
Right.
I mean, it's such a big difference because if you're buying land and opening and closing in the least expensive place you're going to find is probably around $4,000. Then you add to that the casket and the service, and then you add the headstone and if you want. But just the bare minimums, you're probably talking about $3,000 to $4,000 to bury somebody compared to $600 for a cremation.
But also, people need to understand when you're being cremated, you know, you don't have to pay a lot of money. It's the same, no matter where you go.
That's right. A cremation is a cremation is a cremation. You can pay for the Berber carpet. You can pay for the crystal chandeliers. You can pay for the men coming in white suits or in black suits and white ties. Or you can just come to the smaller mortuaries that are a little more laid back, a little more homey. And I'm not saying the big ones are not homey, but I'm saying that they're much more expensive.
You're paying what you pay for a reason.
Yes, that's right.
And the best thing to do is to have a conversation and go there and talk to you and find out how you work, how you operate, and what you suggest. And I love the fact that you try and gear people, show them. You know, a lot of places are the opposite way. You know, they're going to try and upsell you, where you're the total opposite with people.
Well, yeah, I had a funeral home on Thursday or Friday say, because we were doing a ship out, and he said, so what's your hidden costs? And I said, well, there aren't any. This is what my costs are. This is what my charges are. What do you want me to do? You want me to double it just because I can't? Because you want me to? I will, but that's not my deal.
Right. Now, when people talk about, let's say, prepaying for their cremation or burial, what are your thoughts on that?
If you want to prepay, it has to go into a trust or into an insurance policy. Mortuaries by federal law cannot accept funds until services are rendered. Now, I don't know. I'm not a business person. I don't know a lot about how things work. This is what I know. If you're talking about a funeral trust, they're not trustworthy. If you're talking about insurance, it's going to be there until the Lord comes again, in my opinion. The government backs all insurance companies, so if an insurance company goes out of business, the government steps in and somebody else has to buy it out. I'm not saying all insurance trusts are not trustworthy. What I'm saying is, when I have 5 or 6 people walk in my office with an insurance trust from another mortuary from another state, and they go to collect and there's nothing there, or there's a half of it there, or there's a little bit of it there, or there's a big deduction in it there, it didn't take me very long to figure out they're not very trustworthy. If I put money in an insurance policy, I get a few, maybe not very much, but I get a couple of pennies or a couple of nickels. I've never lost money on an insurance policy, and I've never known anybody who has lost money on an insurance policy. And so if you prepay, the blessing of that is your price will never go up. It's today's prices, regardless whether you live 1 year or 20 years or 50 years. It's set. It's cast in stone. It is that. That's what it is. And I can't tell you anything about a trust because I don't know anything about them because I don't believe in them. And so I always go with insurance.
Well, I wanted to give out your phone number, which is 480-962-6435. It's 96 Angel. The website is Angels Cremation and Burial.com. When people you talk to them, do they know there's certain, they can almost do whatever they want, right? There's anything, the sky is the limit, right?
The sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want except bury your loved one in a casket in your backyard.
You
cannot do that.
I've asked you before, and I want you to answer it again, is what is the number one question that you get from people we'll do for cremation?
Why does everybody have to sign? Why do I have to have permission from somebody else? I'm in charge. I'm the oldest. I'm the youngest. I'm the one that's taking care of them. It's because it's the law. That's probably the number one question about cremation.
And I remember you saying bringing up that the people ask about, am I going to be the only one in there?
Oh, yeah. We have that frequently as well. By federal law, again, you can only cremate one person at a time. And even more so than that, most retorts are only big enough for one person. I got in trouble one time for saying this to a lady because she turned me into the funeral board and I said, how many turkeys can you put in your oven? And she said, and I said, she said one, and I said, well, that's how many people we can put in our retort too. They're only so big. But she turned me into the funeral board because I compared food to a cremation. I did that because it's something people can realize. I'm a really down-to-earth person. And it's like I told Rudy, I said, well, I'll take that into consideration, but I'll probably say it again sometime.
Well, you just did.
Yeah, I just did.
Now, okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about what, when you talk to people, what does it look like? They come in, most of them talk to you personally, or how does that work?
Well, I'm getting older and I'm running out of energy, and our business is growing, and so sometimes they talk to other people in my office, sometimes they talk to me. Everybody in my office all knows that if you try to sell something and I hear about it, you're going to lose your job. You can educate people, you can help people, you can serve people, but do not try to upsell people. I don't like that attitude. I don't like it when I buy a car. I don't like it when I buy a dress. I don't like it when I go to the grocery store and buy groceries. So why would I like it at a funeral home? I don't. And you can educate me and say, well, if you did this, it might make it easier, or it might be more, it might simplify things. But don't try to upsell me. I hate that. And so no matter who you talk to, they should be, number one, courteous, they should be kind, they should be loving, and they should be educating. And those are the most important things. Now, if you call and cuss at us or scream at us, we will hang up the phone.
Well, I'm not
because
thinking
none of
that's
us
going
need
to
to have
happen.
that.
But people today it's a different world that we live in, unfortunately. When you're going through something, let's say somebody passed already and you had no idea what they want, then you're under a lot of stress.
That's right.
A ton of stress. And that is why you come here. Educate, educate, educate.
Well, and if you don't even want to come to my office, you don't want to call me on the phone, at least look on the website. Do your homework. 'Cause look someplace, and don't just believe me. Call 3 or 4 other mortuaries and ask them the same questions and see if you get the same answers. I don't know it all. If somebody asks me a question I don't know, I do my very best to find the answer for them.
The website is Angels Cremation and Burial.com. Call them. They're going to sit and talk to you, and they're going to explain to you some of the different ideas that they have, that you have for people, and to do it affordably. This is so important for people. When you see how much it costs just for a casket, and there's caskets. And then there's caskets.
Oh, yeah.
What's the lowest price casket you usually do?
$450.
$450. What's the highest? What's it look like, too? I'm going to know.
The highest casket I've probably ever sold is like $3,000.
Okay. And there's more than that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have caskets in my book for $5,000 and $6,000, but my clientele is not the $5,000 and $6,000 people.
Right.
They're more the $700 to $800 people.
And that's good. We all should be that way, I think.
Well, and the thing of it is the most important thing you can do is talk to your family, talk to your friends, tell somebody what you want. Don't make them guess.
And what's the most important they should do once they've written it down?
Have it notarized.
Right.
Have it notarized. Telling it on paper, saying it, is not really anything guaranteed, because I can tell you in my world, I have seen papers that have been notarized the day after the person died.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because they get their friend to notarize it and they forget what they're doing. And I've seen people that have completely different writing than they had in the first part than they do in the second part. The bottom line is, have it notarized.
Especially today. I know I've been through something where my father didn't have something notarized and it meant nothing. And the kid, I got hurt from it, from not doing that. But now today, more than ever, you have to make sure you're prepared. You have to make sure that you have things that are notarized. You've also welcomed people. If they can't get it notarized, you do it for...
Oh, we do notaries for free. All you have to do is call us up and walk in our office. We will notarize anything for anybody for free.
What's your final
words? All you have to have is a
today?
Driver's license.
Well, tell me what your final words for everybody today is.
My final words today is that you never know when God's going to pick your flowers, so let people know what you want. And I love you all, and God bless.
and get it notarized.
And get it notarized. That's right, Carol.
Make sure that you are, when you are thinking about all of this, have that conversation. Make it easier on the family. That is the biggest, most important thing. When it's not, then it just becomes something that you sweep under the carpet, and you know what? Like she said, God's going to pick his flowers when he wants. Please call them and start to learn, get educated, and have them talk to you. The phone number to call them is 480-962-6435, which is 96 Angel. You could check them out on the website. All of the wonderful information. You made it so simple for people. I've been up there many, many times, and you can really understand it. But they do free consultations for everyone. They want you to be prepared. That number again is 480-962-6435. It's Angels Cremation and Burial.com.
Nothing I planned.